head coach Felisha Legette-Jack. Coach, it is always good to see you. I feel like when Coach walks in, there's just like this aura of like happiness and positivity and perspective. What does it feel like for you walking in here? I know it's a lot of interviews and you have to deal with us and doing all these things, but knowing that you're walking in here with the season just right around the corner.
It's always great to be here and it's not deal with you guys. I get to hang with you all. I'm so privileged and honored of that, and it's always great to start anew. You know, I think it's the year 38 for me in the business in some capacity, and it's just never has gotten old. It's really it's an honor and privilege, and I don't take it for granted, and I'm always excited about being a part of it.
38 years. So as a player at Syracuse, right now back as a head coach in your hometown as well. Like, what are your expectations for this Syracuse squad this season? To go out and present to our great city. I always say it's my city, our city. I'm back home. You know, it took me 22 years to get back to be the head coach, and I don't take 1 second for granted. And to be in the midst of Syracuse community and that great university and that athletic department, I am in awe every day. And some people get excited and it wears off, right? I'm still like, oh, you sure I still got a job? Let's go, let's go. And so I'm really excited and humbled for this opportunity.
Coach, you were that little girl that you see in your stands. You know, the little girl that comes to the game and wants to be impacted by where our game is right now. And the style of play that you play, the effort that your teams give. How much do you reflect back to when you were that little girl and you think about those times and why it's important for your team to reflect that?
And that's important that you say that, because I say to my players all the time, there's no off day, because that little kid top left corner, she's seeing the game for the first time. That little girl was me. And I watched Martha Mogish, and I watched Chris Palumbo, and I saw what they were bringing to our city. And I hope that one day I got an opportunity to play the game at that level, but then to get an opportunity to play at Syracuse, I really didn't take that for granted. And so I just think that's important that our style of play represent what's happening in this women's game, which is amazing right now. It's fast-paced. It's a lot of defense. It's, you know, make a mistake, don't think about it, just go to the next play. And our players this season, so far in preseason, they're exemplifying that. They're hands up, my bad, getting after it, and trying to make a different mistake, not the same.
Not enough defense ever for Debbie, right? I saw you're like, not enough defense ever.
There was no defense last year for us, so we'll be better than that. I can assure you.
I want to talk about some of your scores, because obviously you've had some incredible players throughout your first 3 years at Syracuse, and you lost a couple of your top scorers from last year in Kyra and Georgia. Who can fill some of those voids?
Well, I think this young lady, Miyuchi, is on our court. She came in from Japan. Been there for like 7 years, and she likes to run the floor and grab rim and get to the nail, and I think she can score a little bit. Layla Felia is one comes to mind. Although she's more of a defensive-minded young lady, we still want her to bring those 17 points she had at Michigan every year to the table. And Dominique Darius is a name that probably you all didn't hear about, because she hadn't done a tremendous job of playing out there. She's just been a part of a team that had success, and I think that she's going to play a lot of minutes for us to remember that she was a top 5 player in the country when she came out of high school.
Well, Coach, you talk about Dominique, Layla, Sophie. Like, when you take a look at this season, every season is a new season, right? Yes. There's going to be, whether your offensive system is reflective of what happened last year or if it's a completely new system. Defensively, the same thing. Like, when you take a look at the roster that you guys have been practicing with the last couple of weeks, what is going to be the identity of the squad this year?
Our family versus their team. That's our identity. Any given day, a different starter can emerge. Any given day, we're going to play 12 deep. We're going to play 13, 14 deep. There's not a set 5 yet that we are looking at to say that's the team that is going to go out there and represent for us. I was reading some articles on Instagram, and Rick Pitino has the same issue, where he has so many great players that who's going to start. I think I have a team right now, they don't really care about the start. They care about how we finish as a team. So it's our family versus their team.
Coach, every time you walk around, Kelsey mentioned earlier, it feels like there's a party happening, or it's getting ready to happen. Like, the energy that you bring and what your team plays with, to Angela's point about identity. When you look at the pieces in the offseason through the portal, because you had a lot of movement, and that's where we are. We're all GMs as head coaches now.
Yes.
What did you need to be able to do the things that you wanted to do?
We didn't defend well last year, and so I went after the people that like to defend, and we really addressed that very well, and we couldn't put the ball in the hole, and so we went after some scores, and I like a tall team that can play multiple positions. As you can see with Deja Fair few years ago, I'm a positionless coach. You can play the point 2 or 3, or you can play the 3, 4, or 5. Sophie's a 3 and a 4. UC's going to be playing a 3 and a 4. Dom is a 1 and 2. And so I like kids that come in without, am I a point guard or 2 guard? You're a player. Get out there and run around the floor. And so I think that we've addressed our rebounding, which is like, wherever I've been, it's been Rebound University. Last year, it was anybody can get the rebound except for Syracuse. And so we're going to get after that. We don't really care how you get the rebound, jump on their heads, step on their feet, but get the rebound.
I want to ask you one more to follow up on that is, I heard you say positionless, which means a versatile team with really no labels. But to me, where the game is going is exactly what you said. It's positional size. It's not just playing at the rim or we have at the rim or above the rim, but the size on the perimeter that can have multi-skilled players that can face up and do all that. You mentioned nail and rim on your player from Japan. That to me says a lot about the kind of player that she is and the kind of motor she has.
She's going to be special. We're very gifted to have UC on our team, and we went through a lot to get her to be a part of our family. And more important than how good she is, she's such a better human being. She goes in a situation that's a challenge situation, and she comes back with gifts for everyone that helped her. I mean, that's who we are, what kind of young people we have on our team. But although we're playing positionless basketball, you got to keep in mind we got a kid named Big O on our team from Auburn. And she is a back-to-the-basket kid. When you feel like all that other stuff fails you, give the ball to Big O.
Throw it in there. Big O.
She's going to score 85% of the time.
Well, Coach, you talked a lot about where you guys want to get to. You want to get to the postseason. In order to do that, it's about leadership and it's about energy. Like your staff, you bring that energy, you bring that leadership, but you need someone on the floor that is also carrying that on and is reflective of the identity and the culture. Who are those leaders on the floor?
It's a bunch of them. We got great captains that were selected by our players, and Dominic Darius, Layla Filia, and Sophie Burrows. But any given day, Angelica Velez, she's an emotional and passionate young lady. Reminds me a lot of myself as well, and she's going to be that leader as well. And we got everyone is in it together, and there's not a lot of pressure on me because I have a great staff, and I brought in a young lady named Natasha Adair and Casey Carter. They're great. Amber Moore. My staff is strong, and they're all about leading the way I say so, but not necessarily like it's just her way. We're in this thing together, and my players are examples of that atmosphere as well.
Coach, your program is built on your philosophy of character, academics, and basketball. Yes. And you just mentioned family versus their team. And yes. I know family, like, you can't force that. That's something that has to come together and happen. How have you seen your team, through that philosophy, start to develop as a family? Because every year you got a new family.
Yeah, they just buying into what we're doing. We're doing did some fun things with getting better as a team. And these young ladies have emerged as by themselves. They're talking about, how they're going to dress me this year. Like, no one in my 38 years decided that, like, what's wrong with my outfit? They're like, no, every 2 games we're going to take opportunity to dress you. And it's fun. And yesterday we got after them hard, right? And 2 of my kids came from behind me and just bear hugged me and just loved me up. And they realized that I'm not coming after you as a person. That player has to be developed. You asked of that from me. I'm giving that to you. And they are receiving it. And I'm just excited about this year. You just watch Syracuse. We're on our way somewhere.
I'm excited about this year, and I'm excited about the fits, because now we're going to know. We're going to know what else to be looking for. Coach, we appreciate the time. Best of luck to you this season. Can't wait to see what you're able to do there in your 4th year. We got a lot more coming here from Uptown.